Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. We are in the final day of the trading month and the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but in my opinion, the most valid time to make the majority of your buying and selling decisions is at the end of the day in the last hour, and particularly in the last few minutes. I say this because during the day, algorithms and day traders control the pricing. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions that are dealing with the most money, have very smart people, best technology, best information. They come in with size and they take the control of the pricing away from the day traders and the algorithms. And I like to piggyback my buying and selling decisions based upon what they're doing at the end of the day. I feel like that's the smart money, another way to say it. So that is why I make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day. I did have a day trade today. I will be going over that with you as well. But thank you so much for coming by today. I appreciate it. I always look forward to seeing everyone. I think we have such a wonderful group, such great people, great comments, great poems, and just a great little community. So I'm grateful for everybody, and thank you so much for coming by. I hope spending your time here helps with improving your trading and your investing and learning about good trading principles. So let's take a look here. Hey, Quad Racer is here. Good to see you, bud. We had our first lesson last night. I think you did really well. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to our next one. But thank you so much for that, and thanks for coming today. And Dirk is here. Hey, Dirk, what's going on, my friend? Appreciate you being here. Hey, Scatty13, hello, good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Miko25, hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you, Miko. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Dan is here. Hey, Dan, good to see you as well. Bob is here. Hi, Bob. Good to see you as always. All right. Well, when I got up this morning and I looked to see what the market was doing, I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised to see red. So currently the Dow is down 368 points, down about 1.5%. NASDAQ is down 79 points, down about 0.9% now. And the S&P is down 40 points, down 1.39. So goes to show you, you never really quite know what's going to happen. You know, we had some good earnings yesterday from Facebook and who else? Tesla, excuse me. And I thought we were going to go Microsoft, and I thought we were going to be up today, but we were not. So it just goes to show you, you just never know. So, all right. Hey, Kamal is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you, my friend. Good speaking with you the other night. Marcella is here. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Steve Burns is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you. Steve says volatile earnings week. Yes, it is. And today we have some big earnings. Let's take a look after the bell. We have Amazon, we have Apple, we have Visa, and United Airlines. This morning we had Twitter, McDonald's, Altria. I think Twitter is down today. I think McDonald's is down today. But Apple and Amazon, those are the two biggies. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those. All right. And Steve, thank you for coming. Always an honor, sir. Always a privilege to have you here, to be able to have you in the chat. It's a big deal. Thank you so much. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Greetings to Greg and great group. Thank you, Frank. And thank you always for your great poems. Marco is here. Hey, Marco. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to see Marco from Slovenia. Hope you're having a nice evening. Thank you for coming. Marcella, yes, I remember you bought. So what did you do? Did you cut losses last night or still in the trade? Good to know how you think. Which stock are you talking about, Marcella? Well, I'll go through the positions here in a moment. But I had the SPY trade, which I got out of right at the open like I'm supposed to. But the other trades, maybe you're talking about Apple. Anyway, I'll go through those in a minute. But yes, I did sell my Apple calls because of earnings. And David is here. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here, sir. All right. So listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, run the US legal disclaimer. Secondly, come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, what methodology, what system I was using, what I was thinking, and then most importantly, how I'm going to manage those positions going forward. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your positions with me. I'm going to go through those. We're going to take a look at that. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. You know, it's a big deal for me, and it's a big deal for me because it's a big deal. It is important to learn how to trade, but really it is not that difficult. You know, once you're exposed to it, once you kind of can put it together, but you can have some of the best and smartest traders, best system in the world, but following it is a whole other issue. That is the difficult part. So if you're finding yourself not being able to follow your plan from a psychological standpoint, you have some work to do. It's a skill. And you know, just like learning how to trade is a skill, learning how to follow your plan is a skill as well. And I know I hit you guys over the head with it all the time, but I've been doing this for 24 years and I know how hard it is. And I know that's the difference between being a winning trader and a losing trader. So that's why I like to talk about that. After that, we'll go down through my watch list. I have 3 requirements before I buy any trade. First requirement, I need a confluence or combination of indicators lining up together on one time frame, ideally on 2 time frames. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers. You're going to greatly increase your chance of having a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. So that is why I like to look for a confluence or combination of indicators lining up, or in other words, a confluence or combination of buyers lining up to give yourself the best chance to have a profitable trade. After that, you need a good risk to reward ratio. It's very important that you can make at least 2 times or more to the upside compared to what you are losing. You can have a good confluence or combination of signals, but it may be an area, in an RSI area or a Keltner channel area, where the risk to reward does not make sense. So it's a 2-parter, good confluence of indicators, and then good risk to reward ratio. And then thirdly, just make sure you do not have too many correlated positions. You're not too heavy in one industry. Try to diversify even outside of stocks like gold, silver, bonds. So I'm going to go down through the watch list. Going to look for those 3 requirements. If I see something when I scroll down that looks good, I'll mark it. At the end of the day, I'll go through those candidates and try to whittle it down to the very best trade of the day, taking into consideration combination, confluence of indicators, risk to reward ratio, and then always keeping correlation in mind as well. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. If you'd like me to take a look at a stock symbol, please let me know. I'm happy to give you my humble opinion. If you would like me to take a look at a stock symbol and give you my take on that before the market closes, and if that would be important to you and you think it would be important for the group, please put it in the chat, but please make sure you put a star by it so I know that it is time sensitive. All right, so, all right, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, grab a drink of water because my voice is tired, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, Marcel says you bought SPY at 293.20. Yes, I did, and I sell it first thing in the morning, Marcella. So I did sell it first thing in the morning. Took a little loss on it, but I'll go through these positions here in a second. I'll show you. Aaron, 5905. Hi, Aaron. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Glenn, how you doing, Glenn? Nice to see you. Hey, Greg, back long Qs, short IWM. All right. Well, he's long the strongs and short the weak. Alton. Hello, Alton. I do remember you. Good to see you. Frank says, oh, we have a poem from Frank. Fantastic. Pattern day trades work just fine. Think of them as a rhyme. A backtest put against the now might show you where it moves and how. A pattern is repetition. Use it to set up a position. Very good. Pattern day trades work just fine. Think of them as a rhyme. A backtest put against the now might show you when it moves and how. A pattern is repetition. Use it to set up a position. Frank, you seriously should do a trading poem book. You know how many traders are out there that would enjoy this, and at the same time it would reinforce good trading principles like you are always able to incorporate into your poems? Wow, just great. Just great. Thank you, sir. Amazon. Yep. Well, so, look, the way I trade, lots of different ways to trade. I just can't buy up here at the third ATR channel. 92% of prices fail at the third ATR channel, and we have earnings. So it would be two no-nos for me. Look, this thing could gap up 200 or 300 points, or it could gap down. I don't know. Seems like it's going to go up. Seems like it's too easy of a call, but who knows? Yeah, from a trading standpoint, this high in the channel up at the third ATR channel and right in front of earnings, I can't do it. Hey, Zach, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. All right, well, let's take a look. Start with the current positions. All right, so I did buy Southwest back on the 28th of April. Reason I bought it is we had this nice sideways motion right here. I always like sideways motion. The more consolidation you have, the more likely it is to bust out either to the upside or the downside. Well, in this situation, it was going sideways. It busted down to the downside, but then reversed. So essentially it came down here. The market tested these prices here, didn't like it, reversed back up, created this V1. Here's day one and day two. Here's day one, day two, washed out the low of day one, closed above the close of day one. I bought it here at 29.28. Yesterday had a big day on it, took a couple profit targets. Today, up slightly. So really no change here on the trade. Didn't go higher than yesterday's high, which would have been a good sign. You can see I have my 3 profit targets here, the green lines, but didn't hit any profit targets. Up slightly, so that's good. My initial profit target here is the 50 RSI. If we were to go up to the 50 RSI and reject it, I would get out of the trade. And Quad Racer, if you're listening, this is what we discussed yesterday, right? I'm playing from the 30 to the 50. It did move more than one ATR for my entry. This is the orange line. So if it were to close below the previous day's low, that would be my trailing stop at this point because it has moved more than one ATR. So anyway, just autopilot on this trade. Really nothing to do. I mean, I am glad it's up today, but kind of sideways motion. All right, so we were talking about the SPY with Marcella. In case we have some new viewers today, I quickly want to go over this real quick. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell it first thing the next morning. This is a back test from Lizanne Saunders. They did this back test every day, 2 different approaches in 1993. She's at Bespoke Invest. First option, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you did this every day from 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell first thing the next morning, it returns 634.2%. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, I'm going to allocate something that has a good track record. And the buying in the evening at the close, holding it overnight, selling it first thing the next morning has much better results than the inverse of that, which is buying at the open, selling at the close. Here's the chart. Blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. Orange line is buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see there's a clear difference. It's not all butterflies and rainbows. I mean, yes, over time it has gone up and has a good equity curve, and that is why I continue to use this approach. But there are some substantial drawdowns that are just mind-bending. So that I understand that, and that is why I use a conservative position size. I just look at this as one continuous trade, day after day after day after day. I know I'm going to go through up periods. I know I'm going to go through down periods, but the key though is to position size correctly. So this has been a really good week for this approach, actually. But yesterday I bought it at the close. I bought it at 293.21. Sold it at the open here, 291.69. So I took the overnight loss. Is under where I sold it though, but you can see the last 7 days have been really good. I mean, look, buy at the open, sell at the close, or buy at the close, sell at the open, 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 buy at the close, sell at the open. Bought way down here, sold way up here. So it's had a huge comeback with this approach. So today it's a little loss. It's okay, and I'll go ahead and buy this again today at the close. Apple, I did have, well, two things. I did buy long-term calls on Apple. June of 2021 long-term calls, $250 strike price. Right now it's $291.94. So I've had a great run on these calls, very profitable. But we do have earnings today, and I'm going to go ahead and just sell these calls. Made about 50% on these calls in about just a little over a month. So I'm going to go ahead. I already actually locked them in, so they're gone. So this would be the last time you see this. And then I had a day trade on Apple as well. And I'll show you why. All right. So this is on the 5-minute charts. We were coming down. We were below the value zone. We caught support at the 100. We had this big bar up, and Zach, if you're listening, I'm always looking for halfway, right? I'm looking for 50% retracements of large bars. So it went up here, then came down. Then I bought the higher low V1, but I was also keeping in mind right in here was the 50% mark that Fibonacci that should hold support, and it did. It went down here. I could have bought it here, but I said, no, I better wait for a trigger. Well, then I got the trigger. Here's day one, or bar one, bar two washed out. Bar one closed above bar one's close, giving me a valid V2 in the value zone. And in the bigger picture, it happened within the halfway of this big up bar. I only held it for 10 minutes. I bought it here at 289.66. And I sold it up here 10 minutes later when it rejected the 50 moving average at 290.45. So I bought it at 289.66, 290.45. Not quite $1, but pretty good. Pretty good day trade just for 10 minutes. And then now it's running on up there, running into earnings. And then look at this trade. I did not take this trade. I'm not sure why I didn't. Laugh every time I see this. So these are 5-minute bars on USO. We came down, we bounced off of the 200-day moving average. I wasn't thinking about buying there. I was thinking about buying here when we had a V2, day one, day two, day three, day two, washed out day one, day three, closed above day one's close, went under 30, over 30, and closed above the third ATR channel. I was going to buy it. I decided not to. Look at this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes later, this thing went skyrocketing up over 4%. I didn't take the trade, but I did want to show you. Of course, I look back and I'm like, why didn't I take it? It was perfect. But anyway, that's how it goes. That's one that got away. But yeah, that was a huge move. So wish I could have told you that I took it, but I didn't. All right. Let's take a look here. TLT. Okay, so Bing He has been in TLT here for a bit. He bought it back here on the 17th of April. Wasn't 100% sure what his signal was here, other than maybe the bars closing outside the 1 ATR channel. It's been all over the place. It was up nicely, down, back up, and then down. So anyway, if there's any change Bing He, let me know. Personally, myself, this is starting to look interesting for a long position because we were above the value zone. We're back into the value zone. We've moved sideways. Today is washed out yesterday's low. So if tomorrow we could have a nice V2. Again, I like to buy in the value zone and I like to sell up into this zone, right? 92% of prices fail here. So my favorite trades really are V1, V2 trades in the value zone, sell as we get up to the top of the channel or the top of the third ATR channel. But so nothing here today, but just possibly tomorrow. Okay, Steve Burns. Steve Burns bought Square back on the 27th of April at 63.66 when we had a 1050 EMA crossover. Crossovers give you a good structure to get out quickly if you're wrong, and the potential for a nice large trade if you are right and you hold on to them. Next day, or very next day, kind of went down on him. Yesterday had a nice day up, and then today is down a bit. So he's just under $2 in the money. So far, so good. Steve, if there's any changes with Square, you just let me know. Next trade from Steve Burns also is Nike. Same approach here. He bought the 1050 EMA crossover, bought it here, I think at 88.20, moved sideways for a few days, gapped up nicely, went up again the next day, reversed down, and then down. Today it's down also a little bit. So Steve is a little underwater on this trade. Any changes to this trade, please let me know, Steve. All right, and here's the big trade for Steve. Steve Burns bought the QLD, which is double leverage Qs, 1050 EMA crossover, bought it here at 109.38, and this has just been a beauty all along here, up 40 cents today. So this has been a big move for Steve. Let's see, approximately 6%, over 6% return so far on that. So if there's any changes to that, Steve, please let me know. Okay, so this is GM, not the stock, but the person in the chat. She bought puts down here to $100 or $1,900, expiring June 18th. So anyway, this has gone against her. So if you're listening, GM, if there's any changes, please let me know. Spice. All right, here's Bob. Bob did buy Spice back here on the 27th of April. It bought it at 17.82. Moved up nicely the next day, was up yesterday. Today it's down, unfortunately, but I believe Bob's stop is 17.02. Okay, then we have Zach. Zach had a nice trade on GME at 5.28, and it's $5.28. Now it's at 5.93. Down a little bit today, but so far great trade. And then Bing He. Bing He shorted GDX, which is the gold miners ETF. Shorted it yesterday at 32.90, down to 32.32, down 5% today. So very nice trade there, Bing He. Marcellus says, sell in the pre-market or market hours? No, I sell it right at the open, not in the pre-market, right when the market opens. So if I buy it today, which I will, I'll buy it today. And then as soon as the market closes, I'll just put an order in to sell at the market first thing next morning. Quad Racer. Hi, Greg. Question. Why did you choose SPY as the one to trade daily, buy at the close, versus stocks that may backtest well, or SPY just backtest? That's the first one I was exposed to, was the overnight SPY trade. There have been tests on both on the Qs as well, QLD, SSO. All of them have backtest well. It just makes sense for me to do it on an index and not an individual stock. But then again, I've never seen the results, the backtest results from using just an individual stock. Concept probably works the same, but I like having the indexes because there's no earnings. But that's why I chose SPY, because that's the first backtest that I was exposed to. But I know on the Qs, I believe, I don't want to say 100%, but I'm pretty sure the Qs backtest as well. Dan says, Apple trade, bravo. Yeah, it wasn't a huge trade, but it was 10 minutes and it was a perfect little setup. And so thank you, Dan. Bing He says, hey, Greg, took Netflix at 41.40. Hey, Bing He, I just talked about your awesome GDX trade. All right, here we go. 410. Oh, beautiful. 410.40. Nice going, Bing He. Bing He's got some good trades going on. We did have a V1 yesterday. I'm not sure if that's why Bing He took it, but nice going. All right. All right, let me just check a couple things here. By the way, anybody have any guesses on Amazon earnings and Apple earnings? Kamal was the clear winner the other day. He got 2 out of 3. But if you want to play along, does Apple miss on earnings, or do they beat on earnings? And then to make it even tougher, does the stock go up or down? And the same with Amazon. Does Amazon beat on earnings, or does it miss on earnings, and does the stock go up or down? I have my own thoughts, but if you want to put it in the chat, it'd be kind of fun and we can keep tabs. Deanne, hey Deanne, nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. You use ETF replay for backtest. Does it backtest stocks or just ETFs? It backtests both. It backtests ETFs and stocks as well, Deanne. Not every single stock, but the big ones, the majority of them, it does. And I really do like it. Marcella says, Amazon should be good for me. Up. So earnings are going to be up, or just the stock is going to be up? Kamal says, Amazon beat, stock up, Apple miss, stock down. It's exactly what I was thinking, Kamal. I mean, we know that Amazon in this environment is probably doing very well, and also Apple in this environment, I would think that they're not doing as well. But if I only knew, right? For all I know, it's gonna miss earnings and go up. But anyway, I'm with Kamal. Those are my calls as well. Thoughts on Netflix for today? All right. Well, look, we're above the value zone. We came into the value zone. Yesterday we had a V1. Day 1, day 2, day 2 washes out day 1, closes above day 1's close. This is a V1 in the value zone. Gives a good defined risk, halfway the washout bar. I did not take this yesterday because in addition to coming into the value zone, I want to see it move sideways for a couple days, not just down and right back up. A lot of times down and right back up, go up for a day or so and then fail. I want to see it come down, build a base. Remember, the more sideways motion we get, it's like having a foundation of a house or foundation of a building. The more sideways motion you can get, the easier it is to go up higher and hold. So I'm glad this is working out for Bing He for sure. But met a lot of requirements above the 1 ATR channel, back in the value zone. I just needed it to move sideways for a couple days and then have the V1. But who knows? I miss a lot of trades because of my filters like this. So who knows? David says, agree with Kamal. Marcella says, agree with Kamal as well. Steve Burns says, just for fun, Amazon, best all-time earning, highs higher than range bound. Apple misses every line on earnings and ends up tomorrow. Okay. So Amazon, best all-time earnings, highs higher than range bound. So we go up. Apple misses every line on earnings and still goes up tomorrow. Interesting. Well, Steve has QLD, so that's nice. So he'll be able to participate in that through QLD if that is in fact the case. All right, let me check over here, blah, blah, blah. All right, so listen, before we go down through my watch list, before I start looking for, my best end of day trade, if I can find one today, meets all the requirements that I place at the end of the day. Before I do that, I do like to talk about trading psychology, some good trading words of wisdom. It's extremely important. Most important part of trading, in my opinion, really is, I've been doing this for so long, and every day I learn again how important it is. And there's some great Twitter channels, some great Facebook channels out there. And I've been doing a lot of Trading Composure lately, but he has such a great channel on Facebook. So, if you haven't subscribed to Trading Composure, please do. He's really, really great. He really gets into the nitty gritty of psychology. I mean, he fully, deeply understands it. But let's see what he says. When you hold onto your opinion and defend it like a brick of gold, it becomes hard to accomplish anything worthwhile as a trader. This defense mechanism is precisely what gets you into trouble. If anything, market uncertainty should elicit humility, discernment, and openness. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. But what he is saying here is so correct, everybody. And if you've been trading for a while, you probably understand. But if you get in your mind an idea that Amazon is too high and you want to short it, or oil is too low and you want to buy it, well, it's just a prediction, right? And if you, like he says, defend your opinion on something like a brick of gold, it becomes hard to accomplish anything worthwhile as a trader. You're not a trader anymore. You're just a I can't think of the word now. But anyway, you're an analyst, right? You're an analyst. You're making your analyst opinion on something being either too high or too low. But as traders, we shouldn't do that. Every single time in my whole trading career, everybody, that I've gotten in trouble, it's when I got a smart idea about something being too high or too low. Usually I was right, but I was way early. So, man, if I could give you the best advice I could give you and any other trader is don't hold on to your opinions. Don't have a hard opinion about something being too low or too high. If you think it's too high, fine. You don't have to buy it. If you think it's too low, it's fine to think it's too low, but wait for a confirmation to buy it before you do. I mean, a few times a year, I always have to learn this lesson, right? Instead of just price action trading, just trading based upon the setups and the price, instead of me thinking that I can figure out the economy and macroeconomics and everything else. I like to do it, but I'm probably wrong more than I'm right. So one more time, when you hold onto your opinion and defend it like a brick of gold, it becomes hard to accomplish anything worthwhile as a trader. This defense mechanism is precisely what gets you into trouble. If anything, market uncertainty should elicit humility, discernment, and openness. Man, this is like the best post. So I hope you can read this. I hope you can internalize it, but just the cliff notes, it's fine to have an opinion, but don't hold on to it if it's going against you. If you have an opinion, you buy it, goes up, fine. But if it goes against you and keeps going against you because you think it can't do something, it can't go higher or lower, it can. Trust me, it can. So let's be traders, not stock analysts, right? So thank you so much, Trading Composure. Seriously, one of my favorite posts ever from Trading Composure, and one of my favorite posts ever of all the hundreds and hundreds of these little trading psychology bits that I do each day. But trade what's happening, not what you think is going to happen, and you'll do better. Simple as that. Zach says, Steve, do you stay out of stocks prior to earnings as well? If I am not mistaken, Greg says he got that from you, correct? Yes, that's the word. That's the word, Steve. Thank you. My voice is a little rough today. I'm having a hard time getting words out. Yeah, Steve does get out prior to earnings, Zach, and and I did learn it from Steve. Prognosticator. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't find it. Let's take a look at AMD for Dirk. I like AMD here, Dirk. I like it. I don't like it to buy right this second, but again, it's above the 1 ATR channel. I consider this over the value zone. I want to wait till it comes back into the value zone. It is in the value zone, but it's gone down again. I want to see it move sideways now for a couple days without it closing again lower, showing that there's some buyers have come in, showing that there is some support moving sideways. The more days, the better, but at least 2. And then looking for a V1 or a V2 for possibly going back up. So yes, I like this. And you can see again, buying up here probably wasn't the best thing, right? Better to buy in the value zone, better to buy at the mean. You know, here you're above the mean, let it revert to the mean, then sell above the mean. So that is my take on AMD. And I like that. I like that actually. I'm going to put it here so I can look at that tomorrow. Steve says, yes, I avoid earnings to avoid the potential for big losses. Steve says, big losses are the one thing that will make you unprofitable. The other is not having any big wins. Big losses are the one thing that will make you unprofitable. The other is not having any big wins. Yeah, you want to avoid big losses and you want to have some big wins. That's the key. Okay. How are we doing on time? We have about 20 minutes. All right, here's Amazon. Can't do anything with Amazon because of earnings. So I'm going to have to just let that one slide by, but it will be kind of fun. And I agree. I think Amazon is going to go up and I think Apple's going to go down. But what do I know? Boeing. So look, we did close below the 1 ATR channel. We rallied back into the value zone. We did wash out, have a V1 today. I'm a little concerned. How high did it get on the RSI? It did not get to the 50 RSI, but I didn't have any down days. I like it to go up and then down and then up. Yesterday was still an up day. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass on Boeing. I mean, it is a higher low V1 technically. It rejected close to the 50, but it didn't reject. So technically I still could take it, but I would like a couple down days, not just an up day followed by another up day. So I'm going to let this one go. Berkshire Hathaway, don't see anything here. Beyond Meat, wow, that was up much higher earlier. Now it's actually down. Big rejection of the 200-day. So, you know, I'm going to say this a lot today. We're above the value zone. The value zone is this green line, this green line. I want to see it come back into the value zone, consolidate, look for an entry in the value zone, sell when it goes above the value zone, not buy above the value zone. Caterpillar down today. Don't see anything here. Carnival Cruise Line. It's had a big run. And again, you know, here we were in the value zone. Here's a V2, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washed out, day 1. See the sidewards motion? Then the entry of the V2. I didn't buy this. I can't remember. Somebody did though. I can't think right off the top of my head. But look at this huge move it's had ever since then. I do have calls in Carnival Cruise Line, not for me, but an account for someone that I manage. And so those calls have doubled in price, but I don't see anything here today. Diamond, it's the Dow Jones. Again, it's above the value zone. I want to see it pulling back into the value zone. Disney, look at this, man. Big up, big down, but I want to see it come back into the value zone. It's above the value zone. I want to see it come back in the value zone, in between the green lines, settle down, sideways motion like this. Again, here we were above the value zone, came into the value zone, sideways motion, and had the run. So that's what I'm looking for again, but not yet. Etsy, Etsy finally has a down day. Lost the 70 RSI here. Now it's lost the third ATR channel. Pull back into value zone is what I'd be looking for. Facebook, wow. You know, this is a big reversal bar. Big reversal bar. Now, Steve had a great trade on Facebook. He did get out yesterday because of the earnings, like we discussed. I imagine if there was not earnings and there was, and this happened today and Steve was still in the trade, I imagine he would get out. You know, on crossovers, yeah, you get out if the fast crosses under the slow, or you get out if you reject the 70 RSI. But also a big volatile reversal bar like this is also a legitimate reason to get out. We gapped higher, we closed lower, we're above yesterday's close, but we're below today's open, which is a little suspect, and it was up much, much higher earlier. So had I been in the position, I imagine if Steve had been in the position, he would have gotten out here as well. Gold, well, look, above the value zone, in the value zone. Now I just need it to go sideways, look for a V1, V2 entry. So nothing yet on gold. Google, down a bit today, had really good earnings, gapped up huge, can't buy up here. So pull back to value is what I'd be looking for. Goldman Sachs, big down day today. But maybe we'll get back into the value zone. Home Depot, gap down, reverse back up, just too high up here. It is closing back above the 200-day moving average, but I talked earlier about having setups, but then looking to risk to reward. I just don't like it's too high up here. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but for me, it's a no-go. IBB, biotechnology ETF, again, way above the value zone. I want to see it come back into the value zone to buy. Intel down today, nothing there. Russell down pretty substantially, was up huge yesterday, back down, back under the third ATR channel. So who knows, maybe we go range bound for here, maybe we go down. If we get back into the value zone, I'll look for it there. Johnson & Johnson, again, above the value zone. We finally came back. We've reverted to the mean. But now that we're back in the value zone, sideways motion V1, V2 is what I would be looking for. CarMax, nice, beautiful run. Pull back into the value zone is what I'm looking for. Coca-Cola down pretty substantially today, 2.63%. back in the value zone here. Look for some sideways motion, V1, V2. Lockheed Martin, boy, it's tested that. It broke above the 200, tested it yesterday, tested it again today, up. I mean, you know, this does look pretty strong. On the weekly, we've moved up. We've moved sideways now. We could be building just a higher base here before we take off, but I don't see anything for me. MasterCard down today. Looks like we're closing below the low, the previous yesterday's low. Pull back into value zones, what I'm looking for. McDonald's down today, big reversal, gap down lower, back up, but I don't see anything there. Merck, well, look, just 4 days ago we were above the value zone. We came into the value zone, but it's now we've gone down again. So sideways motion, make sure there's some buyers there. Microsoft had earnings, gapped up way higher. I know Frank had a great trade. He got out at 180. I believe it went up to 185. But anyway, that was yesterday. Today's 178. So Frank had a great trade. I think he bought it at like 173 or 174 and sold it at 180 in like within an hour. It's fantastic. Netflix, being he has Netflix, so we got you down, bud. V1 yesterday in the value zone. Nike down. We are coming into the value zone. See? Sideways motion. That's where I'd be looking. Philip Morris down. Its sister company, Altria, had earnings today. They were bad, but we are back in the value zone at least. Better than buying up here. PayPal, just too high. Look for a return to value. The Q's down today. Just too high for me to get involved. Pull back into value. Silver, we are hanging out in the value zone, almost have a 520 cross under. If we can cross under and then back over, that's a valid back test, valid crossover to take, but nothing quite yet. SPY had the overnight SPY loss. We'll be buying that again today. Teladoc, again, perfect example, buying in the value zone. It had a nice run up. Now we've had a pullback. We are back in the value zone, but it's gone down. I needed to see it stop going down, then look for a V1, V2 to maybe have a run back up. Possibly, don't know. TLT, being he, this one's going against him here. We are in the value zone. The coming days here, if it moves sideways, I'll buy and get a signal. I will buy it. Tesla. Well, yesterday Tesla was up huge. And then there was some news out today about, I don't know, the financials looking something. Somebody noticed something. So look at this huge reversal bar. V1 to the downside, lost the 70 RSI, rejected the third ATR channel, back under, plus the V1, bearish engulfing bar. I mean, you know, I'm not going to short this, but, you know, if somebody said you had to short something today, it would probably be this because of all these confluence of signals. Again, V1 to the downside, bearish engulfing bar, over 70, under 70, lost the third ATR channel. You know, if tomorrow, Zach, if you're listening, we have a big down bar. If we go up tomorrow and fail at the halfway of Fibonacci, 50% Fibonacci to the upside, retrace 50% back to the upside. If we get there, then I'll go intraday and look for a short, because on the higher time range, this is if it does go up, it might go down, but if it does go up, this is probably where it's going to get stuck. And then I would go down to a smaller time frame to look for a short to the downside. So nothing on Tesla. Twitter had earnings this morning, down 9.31%. Wow. But again, another reason not to buy before earnings, but looking for a pullback into the value zone. United Continental, nothing there. UNG, nothing there, up 3% though. United Healthcare Group, looking for a pullback into value. USO, which is the oil fund, that's the 5-minute chart that I was talking to you about that I missed. Oh my gosh. Look at this. I almost bought it right there. Could you imagine? Boom. But I didn't. I wish I could say I did. VIX. All right. VIX back up today after yesterday's plunge, but I don't see anything there. Verizon. Just kind of moving sideways here. Nothing too interesting. Walgreens down big today. Walmart also down big. Look how high we were above the value zone. Came back into the value zone, but we never went sideways. Here we got into the value zone, but you have to wait for a trigger. Just went down. Even if you bought here, you still need to wait for a trigger. And now we're down below the value zone. I'd like to see this come back up into the value zone, then sell off for a day or two, then have a higher low V1, V2 somewhere around here, or possibly play it off of the 200-day if it continues lower. XLE down a bit today. It's had a nice run. Pull back to value. XLF, same. Need a pull back to value. Real estate poked its head back in the value zone, but nothing yet. XLU, okay, we're above the value zone. We'll come back into the value zone. We came back into the value zone 2 days ago, but then it kept going down, kept going down. I just want to see the market stabilize before I take a look at entering a position. Healthcare, man, healthcare has skyrocketed. Nothing there. And Zoom, perfect example of being above the value zone, into the value zone. See, this is why I always talk about not buying above the value zone, waiting it for come back into the value zone. I consider this extended above value. I want to buy at value or lower than value. I don't want to buy at value, above value, and sell at value. I want to buy at value, sell above value, buy below value, sell at value. So, you know, nice mean reversion, just a couple days sideways, look for V1, V2. All right. So I do not see anything today that I am interested in buying whatsoever other than my overnight SPY trade. That's about it. Just real quick, my Southwest position is up a bit, so no changes there. SPY, buy that at the close. Apple, I am done with Apple. I did sell my calls today, got out of those ahead of earnings, so that was a really good trade. So we'll get rid of Apple there. And then USO was the one that got away. Okay, real quick look through. Square's down 0.88%. Nike's down 8.87. QLD up just a touch. Amazon up 80 points. Man, this is going to be interesting into the close. Spice for Bob is down a little bit. Being He, nice short to the downside, and then Being He, nice trade to the upside on Netflix. Deanne says, regarding Mini Mobile, resistance at 37.69. Well, yeah, I mean, the way that I look at this, Deanne, there's multiple areas of resistance here. I mean, of course, there's the third ATR channel. That's going to be a struggle. Even the fourth and the fifth and the sixth ATR channel are going to be a struggle. And then the 200-day moving average is also going to be a struggle. So I see resistance even before 37.69, quite a bit, actually. Being He says, Facebook has a gap resistance on 24. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly where it is. Here's the gap resistance back here. Yep. That's a bearish looking bar. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but it is bearish looking. Marcella says, excuse my ignorance. What do you mean by value zone? Oh, no problem. There's no, let me see if I can find a good example. So a value zone, Marcella, is anywhere, the way that I look at it is anywhere between this green line and this green line. The in between is the midpoint, that's the mean. The one ATR channel, the Keltner channel is just one standard deviation away from the mean. The negative one ATR channel is one negative standard deviation away from the mean. So if you have Keltner channels, you can just put Keltner channels on using a 20-day as your input. And so when I talk about the value zone, it's anywhere below this green line or above this green line. That's what I mean by the value zone. Anytime you see something in these within one ATR of the mean, that's what I consider the value zone. Dirk says CTXS. You can see, Marcella, we're in the value zone here. Yeah, this is pretty good, Dirk. The only thing is, here's a V2. It's a nice V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1 nicely, but do you see how big this bar is? It's quite a large bar. So let me take a look here. Actually, 1 ATR is 586. Yeah, see, 1 ATR is 586. This bar measures 648. So it is too big of a bar. So I cannot take a V1 or a V2 when the day 1 bar is larger than 1 ATR, because it's showing movement that's outside of the noise being larger than 1 ATR. Bing He says, Netflix did not reject the 70. Or Tesla. It didn't. I have to admit, when I looked at this, I just approximated. Oh, pretty close. 69.70. pretty close. Yeah, I just eyeballed it and figured it was close to 70. But yes, you are correct. It did not. Technically, it did not. But regardless, that's a pretty nasty looking bar. No, the RSI is not too high. It's only 57, but for me, anything above the second ATR channel, I really hesitate to take. And you have earnings tomorrow as well, in case, at least on my charts here. Marcella says, ATR, don't know. Well, if you have a charting platform, Marcella, they're usually under ATR channels or Keltner channels. And almost most trading platforms have them. All right. So no new trades for me. Look at Apple. I just had a feeling that thing was going to run, but oh, Steve bought Monster. Okay. Let's get you down for Monster. 61.87. All right. Hey, everybody, give me 2 seconds. I have to move Katie around. 15 seconds. Sorry. We'll come back. We'll take a look at Amazon. What's happening? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so, Steve bought the Monster 6187, the 1050 EMA crossover. So that's the back signal. So there you go, Steve. We got you down. Hey, real quick, before earnings come out and all that, just want to put in my quick little daily plug and just let everybody know that I do teach private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons, even in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach, have good success with my clients. I've been trading for 24 years, and I've also studied one-on-one with some really great, well-known traders like Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, and Larry Williams. The course I teach you everything I've discovered over the last 24 years and everything that my teachers have taught me. The course is 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's pretty involved. It's $1,000, but I really think it's a really good deal. I think it's worth every penny for, as how intense the course is and how much time we spend together working on it. But, after doing this course, you should be able to look at any market, any time frame, and be able to trade. And I really enjoy trading, and I think my students enjoy the course too. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. The email's in the description of the video here. You can send me a message on Twitter. And usually kind of how it works is if you're interested, I'd like to set up a Skype call. It's totally free. There's no pressure. I just want to get to know you better. I want you to be able to ask me questions about the training, about me, and I want to ask questions about you, your experience, your challenges, the setbacks you've had, your goals, right? And just make sure we're a good fit. And if we are, then we'll go ahead and book the lessons. So anyway, if you're interested, if you've been thinking about it, just reach out to me. We'll have that Skype call. It's free, like I said, and there's no pressure, but just to see, you can kick the tires a little bit and see if it's something you're interested in. And then if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could take just a half a second, hit that thumbs up button. It helps grow the channel. A lot of people out there need a little guidance and to be taught good trading principles, and that's what I try to do here. So if you could hit the thumbs up button, I really would appreciate it. Excuse me, boy, my voice. Oh. Let's take a look at Amazon, see what's happening. Amazon's down 84 points. Wow. Apple's down 2 points. Did Amazon's earnings already come out, or is that just... Excuse my voice today, everyone. Yeah, I like that monster trade, actually, Steve. I like it for a couple of reasons. Zach, if you're listening, we had that big bar up yesterday. Today we came back down, tested the halfway, also tested the 200, closed above, and you have the 1050 crossover there as well. Yeah, I like that. I didn't notice that one. If I had, I very likely would have taken that trade. So it looks like Amazon is down $156. Wow. Wow. Okay. Anybody seen Apple's earnings or anything yet? They earned $5.01 a share, revenue $75 billion. They were anticipating $6.25, and that's why it's down, I guess. All right, by the way, I did buy SPY here today at 290.48. So that's the new entry for today. $290.48. All right, and I will sell that first thing tomorrow morning, Marcella. Zach says, Greg, when you miss out on a trade like you were just discussing on Monster, are you able to buy after hours if it's something you really wanted? You know, Zach, it really depends on the stock, because as soon as after hours starts, the bid and the ask spread are very wide apart. During the day, you know, most of these big stocks are, 3 cents, 5 cents, 1 cent apart. I mean, if I look at Monster right now, there's a 62-cent spread. So if I want to buy it, I can buy it at 61.62. If I want to sell it, I can only sell it at 61.02, right? I mean, I could put a limit order in for 61.81. Which is where it closed. I could do that if I wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend, if you miss it, just buying the ask, because you're gonna buy much higher than you would have had you bought it in the regular time of the day. So, and there's not a lot of volume after hours. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go in and put in a limit order for 61.68 if I wanted to, but after these earnings here with Amazon, I don't think I'm probably going to do it. What did Steve got? Yeah, so Steve got it at 61.87. So, and right now it's 61 by 61.75. So does that answer? I mean, if it's the Qs or Apple or big monster stock like that, Zach, the spread will be tighter. But on a stock like Amazon, or even, like probably Southwest Airlines, it's going to be wider. Bing He says, Monster has a 100 SMA resistance. I noticed one thing about Steve Trade. He doesn't bother too much on resistance. Not sure if I got it right. Well, he is just, I mean, look, we all have different ways of looking at things. And Steve bought this just based upon the strength of the crossovers, right? The 10-50 crossover. Bing He said it has resistance at the 100. Oh, you know what? I don't have. Yeah, it does. It does. But, he's not taking that into consideration, which is fine. And sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it's not. But you're right, Bing He. William says, having a special sale on Amazon this evening, Apple on sale now as well. Well, Dr. Alexander Elder always told me investors are the only people that never like to buy anything on sale. They want to buy things, pay full retail, and they never want to buy it on sale. So let's take a look what William has to say. I haven't really seen this. Yes, it is on sale. It's down 3.8%. Apple down $1.61, down about 0.5%. Bing He says, my TLT trade today is bearish. I hope the gap supports on April 15 will hold it. Yeah, well, it should hold there, Bing He. I mean, no, let me take that back. There's a good possibility it will hold, and that's exactly where it has held so far, but it certainly could fill the gap. If we go up tomorrow, Bing He, and have a V2 here in the value zone, that's where I would buy it if it goes up. Ryan D. Hey, Ryan, good to see you. Gilead Sciences first quarter 20 earnings 5.55. Estimate 5.37, earnings 168, estimate 1.59. Gilead took steps to expand remdesivir manufacturing production. Zach says, I haven't seen anything yet, but I assume Amazon did not beat earnings. Yeah, I don't think they did. I think I just read something about that. They're down. Yeah, I think they missed, as long as I was reading that correctly. Amazon expects to spend entire $4 billion in quarter 2 operating profit on corona-related expenses. Wow. Apple's still not out. Apple likes to keep everybody in suspense, right? They always want to like show up fashionably late to the party. Ryan says, Visa, quarter 2 earnings revenue, 5.9. So they beat estimates. They beat estimates. But a lot of this is going to be what their outlook is. So Visa, let's take a look at Visa. They are down after. You know, last quarter, January and February were still pretty good months for business, but March, they got hurt. But it's really going to be the second quarter and the outlook for the second quarter that I think is really going to drive things here. So Amazon's down 117 points. I don't think Apple's out. I think it's down just in sympathy right now. All right. Bob says, I got out of SPCE for a small loss. Didn't like the price action. I agree. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, look, we rejected the 1HER channel 2 days in a row, down today. I mean, we are in the value zone, but very likely, Bob, I think we could come down here and test this low. And if I could get a V1 or a V2 down in this lower part of the channel, that would be more interesting to me. So anyway, congratulations on having a plan. Congratulations on making the determination that you didn't like the price action, Bob. Bob says Amazon is only down to yesterday's close. Yeah, that puts it in perspective, doesn't it? All right, so Apple's down $2 now. Ryan says, I have a broken wing butterfly centered right at 2,400 on Amazon. If it stays around there tomorrow, it will be a big win. Oh, good. A broken wing butterfly. Yeah, so that's an options strategy. Iron condor, iron fly, those are other type of option strategies as well. So you want it to stay centered around 2,400. Well, keep me updated on that one, Ryan. That's going to be a tough one for me to put here on the board, but keep me updated and let me know how that goes for you. All right, Apple, anytime now, anytime. So happy with today's action for sure. Southwest was up a little bit, so there was a little bit of a gain, had the overnight SPY loss, but did have that nice little Apple trade. So between the two, it made for a profitable day. So always grateful when there's some green. Always grateful when there's some green for sure. So I was wrong on Amazon. I thought they were going to beat. Prices were going to go up. So I thought Apple was going to go down. So who knows? It might go up, right? So I'm 0 for 1. Oh, Kamal says Apple is usually at the 30-minute mark. Okay, well that makes sense. All right, just a quick little recap. I haven't seen any changes, so it looks like Steve is still in square. He's got a profit there. Nike still in there. Slightly underwater on Nike. QLD nicely up. Zach, I think he's still in GameStop, unless I'm incorrect. Let me know. Bing He, nice short trade on GDX. Netflix, nice long trade for Bing He on Netflix. And then Steve just bought Monster there. If anybody has any more questions or comments, jokes, poems, observations, please let me know. While we're waiting for Mr. Apple to come out. Dan says, thanks, Greg. Good day. And don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Dan's my wingman. But yes, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. That'd be nice. And good to see you, Dan. David says, Greg, thanks as always. You're welcome. Have a good night. You too, David. Have a great rest of your day. Have a good night. Appreciate you coming by. So who else did we have today? So Gilead. How did they do? They are down. Visa is down. MGM, this should be interesting. They are also down. Okay. SPY is down. Qs have to be down, yeah. Sorry for all the dead air, everybody. My voice is worn out. But just trying to wait, and we got 7 minutes for Apple to come out. Come on, somebody tell me a joke. Something. Okay, we'll check over here. Boom, boom, boom. Man, did USO have a big day up today. Oof. Look at that. Was not able to get above the 5-day EMA though, so it's been such a long time since it was over the 5-day, so getting up above might be one good thing for oil. Oil was up big today if you've noticed. Bing He, I may consider CTXS on market open. I need to study further. Greg, can you go through CTXS again? Yes, sir. I'm happy to. Okay, so the thing about Citrix here, we came into the value zone, Bing He. We rallied, but we were not able to get above. We made a lower high. If we make a lower high, I like to wash out the low, which we did. We came down here, washed out the low. Many times if you have a lower high, you'll test that previous low. Here we have a V2, definitely a V2, but you see how big day one's bar is? Bing He, here's day one, but the bar is larger than 1 ATR, meaning the average true range means the average amount that it should move, right? And you can see if you look at all these bars, when it figures the ATR, It figures it takes the range of the last 20 days and gives it a reading. Well, the reading is where did it go? I don't know why that isn't showing on there, but this bar is bigger now than, see, from here to here is an ATR. You can see it in line form. Just from here to here is one ATR. You see how this bar is bigger than from here to here or from here to here. So that means this bar moved outside of noise. It moved more than it should have on an average day, and it was to the downside. So if the day one bar is, the range is larger than one ATR, it's showing that there were an extraordinary amount of sellers coming in to drive it past noise, to drive it further than the average one ATR. Then yes, we had a nice little washout, and yes, we had a nice little V2. We closed above the 10 and the 5 and the 20. We rejected the negative one ATR channel. That is good. We are above the 50 RSI. That is good. But my only concern here is this day one bar. I mean, look, if I were to categorize this as, you know, an ABC trade, I would categorize this as probably a B, maybe a B plus, but not an A trade because of this bar. Again, it took an unusual amount of sellers to drive this bar this far. So to go right back up against it is less likely it's going to go right back up when it just told you 2 days ago that there was a lot of selling here. So I hope that makes sense, Bing He. Kamal says, the market may be bad, but I slept like a baby last night. I woke up every hour and cried. That's great. That's great. Kamal says, my stockbroker and I are working on a retirement plan. Unfortunately, it's his. Oh, we got jokes now. This is great. Courtesy Alphabet. Kamal, from a trader after a market crash. This is worse than a divorce. I've lost half my net worth and I still have a wife. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Those are good. The market may be bad, but I slept like a baby last night. I woke up every hour and cried. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. My stockbroker and I are working on a retirement plan. Unfortunately, it's his. So nothing from Apple yet, huh? I guess we have 1 minute. That's good stuff, Kamal. Good stuff. By the way, Kamal did some fantastic work on backtesting with his trading platform. Kamal is a very good coder, professional. And we did a Skype call the other night, and he was showing me just all the filters he put in, the different things, and the annotations on the chart. It was amazing. I was so impressed. I was so impressed. Oh, now Apple's up $2, $3, $3.50, $4. Well, I guess they have done pretty well then. All right, so I was wrong on both. I thought Amazon was going to go up and Apple was going to go down, and they were the complete opposite. So that just goes to show you, you never really quite know. You know, I said earlier, like, it's just too simple to think Amazon's going to go up and Apple's going to go down. That's what I thought, but looks like the opposite. I don't see anything on CNBC yet, but I imagine that they are out. I slept like a baby last night. That's hilarious. Yeah, Bing He, it did, well, the day one bar did jump right out at me, that's for sure. Kamal says, wow, 0 for 2 today. Wrong Amazon, wrong Apple. Yep. Well, you know, there you go. That is why I don't bet on earnings. Apple's up $3, $4, kind of all over the place. All right, everybody. Well, listen, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Before I let you go, please make sure that you go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just be nice. Do one good thing. Be pleasant. Call somebody that, probably nobody calls. Give them a call. Just check in on them. See how they're doing. And I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And again, before you get out of here, if you don't mind, if you could hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate that. So, okay, that's a wrap for today. Have a good day, rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.